Hey guys, it's Leah and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now in my last video, I talked all about how Barcelona is doing right now. I spoke about the Napoli game, I spoke about the Getafe game, and in today's video, I will be talking about Barcelona's manager situation for next season. So let's get into it. Obviously, I'm sure we're all aware that Xavi is leaving as Barcelona manager at the end of the season in June. Now there are a lot of different emotions when it comes to this. I feel like Xavi did well with the experience he had. I think last season he showed somewhat of his potential with winning the league and the Supercopa de España and how well the team did defensively last season in the league. I think he deserves a lot of credit for that, but I do feel like his lack of experience has caught up to him this season because his tactics have become predictable and it's become easier for other teams to get around it because they're used to his tactics. I also feel like due to his limited experience as a manager, his decision making isn't as great when it comes to the starting 11 or substitutions, and I think that's a big reason why, he himself even acknowledged the fact that it's time for somebody else to take over as Barca's manager. I also feel like mentality-wise, it is a challenge to manage a club like Barcelona where the media is always toxic. You've seen it on Xavi's face. It feels like Xavi has aged 10 years as Barcelona manager, even though he's only been managing Barcelona for 2.5 seasons now. So I do feel bad for Xavi, and I feel like he does get a lot of the blame, which I get because he is the manager, and the manager is always going to receive the blame, and they're always going to be the first person that are going to go if the team isn't doing well. But I feel like there have been times this season where chances were being created, but the players simply were not converting them, or individual mistakes that the players made defensively. And I feel like in that case scenario, then the blame should not, fall on Xavi, because what could Xavi do? He cannot get inside these players' bodies and play for them. But I do feel like a new manager is necessary to add new ideas and new tactics to the team because of how limited Xavi is tactically at times. Now let's get into the first candidate to take over as Barcelona manager. The first one being Rafa Marquez. Now Rafa Marquez is currently coaching the B team at Barça. That being said, people that follow me on TikTok already know my opinion on this. I don't think he's ready to coach the first team. And anytime I say that, people think I hate Rafa Marquez, which is not the case. I just feel like taking him in as like the first team manager will be the same issue with Xavi when it comes to his lack of experience and being limited with his tactics. Now, I will talk about some of the benefits of Rafa Marquez coming into the first team. First, let's start off with he did pretty well with the B team last season, and they're doing well right now. I feel like they had a few bumps this season, but overall, he's doing a pretty good job. I feel like it's very hard to be consistent with the B team, considering that as soon as a player is good on the B team, they get minutes on the first team, and then you can't have your best players playing on your team, which is definitely difficult to deal with, but I think Rafa Marquez has handled the situation well. Also, I feel like Rafa Marquez knows a lot of the youth talent considering he's the B team coach. So once they get into the first team dynamics, it'll be easier for him to coach them because he's already aware of what they're capable of if he already coached them prior. Now, I do feel like I want to protect Rafa Marquez because I feel like everyone expects Rafa Marquez, if he comes into the first team as the head coach, to, be like Pep when he came to manage the first team. And I think people need to realize somebody like Pep coming in and automatically winning a sextuple is like a once in a lifetime kind of situation. We shouldn't put those expectations on every Barca legend that comes to manage the club. Those were the expectations people had with Xavi. Obviously, that didn't work out. And now some people are saying the exact same thing with Rafa Marquez. And it brings on the idea of, when will we ever learn? That's a lot of pressure. And I feel like a lot of Barcelona fans are tired of being frustrated. They're tired of having patience. They just want to see Barcelona play well and win games. And I feel like the media is very toxic. And I don't think that's fair for Rafa Marquez to come into that environment with his limited coaching experience in general. And I feel like right now what Barcelona need to do is make a statement with the next manager, because he's going to be here for the long run, and he needs to know how to deal with pressure and have experience with dealing with pressure. And I just feel like Rafa Marquez does not have that experience. Now, moving on to the next candidate, who is Tuchel, German manager. It doesn't really surprise me because apparently there has been reports that Laporta does like the German football school and does want to see a German manager at Barca. according to reports. So I would understand why he may lean towards Tuchel, especially since Tuchel is leaving Bayern at the end of the season. Now, it has been talked about the last couple of weeks that Tuchel does want to coach in Spain. He even said it himself. So obviously, if Barcelona have like the position available, it would be like the perfect destination for him to have an opportunity to coach in Spain. However, I'm not sure if he'll be able to deal with the toxic media environment, because I feel like the media at Barcelona is 10 times worse than it is in anywhere else, because it's not about if you win, it's about how you play also. And even if you win, it won't matter if you play bad, because the media will still criticize you for how poorly the team played. I feel like he has blown up in the past when it comes to like the media pressure. You've seen it at PSG, you've seen it when he was coaching Chelsea, you're seeing it now at Bayern. So I don't know if he'll be able to handle that pressure. And up next, another German manager, Nagelsmann. Not surprising, since I've already mentioned that according to reports, Laporta does want a German manager at the club eventually. However, while I wouldn't mind him coming to coach Barcelona, right now he is, the German national team coach, and right now he's focused on Euro 2024. So I just feel like right now him coming to Barcelona does not seem like a possibility. I think whoever is the next Barcelona manager needs to start preparing already, and he just won't be able to because he's going to be too focused with Germany in the Euros. I will say though that I've seen him do a couple things tactically, whether it's parking the bus or having possession of the ball and constantly attacking. I've seen him do a couple different things, so therefore at least he has like different options that he could implement into Barcelona depending on the players that he has available in the squad. Now, next candidate is De Zerbi, and apparently he is in the top 2 for who Barcelona want to be the next Barcelona manager. However, financially, he does have a release clause, so that may be difficult for Barcelona, considering they may want to spend that money on players instead, like a proper CDM and etc. That being said, as I am filming this video, apparently, according to reports, it is said that if Barcelona want him to manage, the club next season, all they have to do is tell him that he is the main candidate, and then he will inform Brighton and try to negotiate with them to leave on a free. So if that's the case, that does solve the whole financial situation in regards to him. Obviously, De Zerbi, what he's doing with Brighton right now, they're playing really good football. His tactics are the most similar to Barcelona's style of play. So I think that's why Barcelona are leaning more towards him to, just be more consistent with their tactics in the team and everything. He also knows how to nurture and deal with youth talent. We've seen it at Brighton, so that's good because Barcelona have a lot of youngsters right now. However, I do have doubts about him because managing at Barcelona is very different from managing at Brighton, and that's not to be any disrespect towards Brighton or their fans, but what I'm simply trying to say is that at Barcelona, you have to win a trophy every season, at least one trophy. If you don't, the season is considered a failure. At Brighton, if you manage to make the top 6, that's automatically considered a successful season. So I don't know if he'll be able to deal with the pressure that the Barcelona job entails. And the last candidate I will talk about, and my personal favorite, is Hansi Flick. I think he would be a great addition to the Barcelona side. I feel like what Barcelona lack is mentality and better physicality, and that's something that he definitely could add to the team. In terms of mentality, we saw when Barcelona were playing against Bayern back in 2020, when they lost against them 8-2, you saw that even though his team was winning and practically demolishing Barcelona, I even have to say it as a Barca fan, he still looked unhappy, and I think that goes to show that he is a type of manager that's going to expect a lot out of his players. And I feel like a lot of the players right now seem very lazy. So I hope that he's able to take care of that whole situation. Also, it's no secret that the Barcelona players, physicality wise, are just not doing so great. I think he'd be the type of manager that will add like better physicality to this team, because it just feels like they're being bullied off the ball at times because of that lack of physicality in general. He also seems like he does want to take on the challenge and manage Barca. My only doubt with him is that there is like a language barrier. Apparently he is trying to learn Spanish, but obviously if you are not able to communicate with your players, then you're not going to be able to implement your tactics. We know that. But I have heard that he wants to hire assistants that could speak both German and Spanish. So that's also like a good thing to look forward to if it does end up happening. Anyways, guys, that is the end of the video. Be sure to comment who you think should be Barcelona's next manager in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like, and follow me on all my social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, X. I'll be sure to add like all my social media in the description as well if you want to go check that out. And yeah, bye guys.